There is a fascinating scientific and technological story behind the cup of coffee we enjoy today. Coffee has been a popular drink for centuries. It is believed that coffee was discovered in the 9th century. History shows that it originated in Ethiopia, then it gradually spread to the Middle East and then to other countries. Did you know that over 500 billion cups of coffee are consumed globally every year? Have you ever thought about how the coffee beans that were first discovered developed into instant coffee and coffee machines that we use today? And what discoveries were made in the evolutionary period? Let's take a look at the history behind this and its technological aspects. Coffee began to be traded globally in the 13th century. During this time, the method used to prepare coffee as a drink was simply mixing ground coffee with hot water, which took a considerable amount of time. It's clear that people back then were willing to put in significant effort for a single cup of coffee. In the 16th century, a proper method for making coffee was discovered in Turkey. This is called the ibric method. A mixture of finely ground coffee powder, water, spices, and sugar is placed in a small metal pot. The water would heat up, and the pot would be removed from the heat when the mixture boiled. The process would be repeated multiple times to prepare the coffee. This method is still used today. Later, various types of coffee pots were developed. Coffee enthusiasts prefer to drink a cup of coffee that is specially prepared to suit their taste. A cup of coffee of the highest quality can be made with a coffee machine called espresso. Some call it the center of civilization. The mastermind of this machine was the Italian inventor Luigi Bezzera. In 1901, he invented a coffee machine that used steam pressure to force hot water through a filter filled with ground coffee and obtained a patent for it. This machine made it possible to make a cup of coffee quickly and with good quality. Earlier low-pressure machines could not match this quality. However, the coffee produced by this machine varied from one cup to another. The reason for this was that the person operating this machine determined the steam pressure, the temperature of the water, and the time the water passed through the coffee grounds. These factors are very important to make a good cup of coffee. The high temperature of the water can also kill the flavor of the coffee. That is why the flavor of the coffee changed depending on the person operating this machine. In modern machines, this process happened automatically. By 1948, spring-loaded piston technology was used to create the necessary pressure and naphthes. In 1960, it switched to electric pump technology. Instant coffee was invented as an alternative method that could be used in cases where an espresso machine was not available. In 1890, New Zealander David Strang first introduced instant coffee. Inspired by him, Japanese-American chemist Satoru Kato improved the successful method in 1901. But at that time, Nestle was selling Nescafé coffee, so instant coffee did not become famous in the world until 1938. To produce instant coffee, first dry coffee beans must be roasted at a temperature of about 165 Celsius. After they cool down, they are ground into a fine powder. To produce instant coffee, it is necessary to extract the compounds that give the coffee flavor and aroma from this powdered coffee. For this, compressed water at a temperature of 175 Celsius is used. The resulting mixture of coffee compounds with water is called coffee extract. Here, instant coffee is produced using two methods called freeze drying or spray drying. In spray drying, the coffee extract is sprayed through a stream of hot air. Here, the dried coffee extract is removed as a very fine powder. But now it is done by freeze drying, where the concentrated coffee liquid is condensed and exposed to low pressure for a short time and evaporated, saving the coffee extract. Instant coffee was a very popular drink among American soldiers. During World War II, instant coffee packets became an indispensable part of their ration bags. As a result, the government bought instant coffee powder in large quantities for many years. As a result, the general public had to wait until the war ended and peace came to enjoy this coffee freely. Two other coffee-related inventors were American James Nason and German housewife Melita Benz. James Nason introduced the percolator mechanism for coffee production in 1865. He introduced a pot used to make coffee. There is a chamber at the bottom of this to hold water. This part is what heats up. There is a tube in the middle of this pot that goes straight up to the top of the pot. This tube can be replaced. At the top end of this tube, there is a filter with coffee powder before the lid. The hot water coming from the bottom to the top is filtered through this filter and coffee is made. Melita Bentz, a woman from Dresden, Germany, invented the world's first coffee filter paper in 1908. She also obtained a patent for it on July 8th of that year. Not stopping there, she also started a business that same year, using her name as the brand. She started this invention using her children's blotting papers. Would you believe it? Yes, she used her children's blotting papers and make cones, which can filter coffee. When she poured hot water into this filter, the coffee would brew well. Then Melita and her husband began producing these coffee filters according to market needs. By 1930, Melita had made a significant change to her design. She changed her original filter. It was shaped like a cone and had bumps on the inside. The main purpose of this was to obtain a greater surface area for brewing coffee. This increases the ability to extract coffee from finely ground coffee beans. By 1936, this design was improved and it became extremely popular. Melita, which never stopped developing its invention over time, further improving its shape, capabilities, ingredients, and its brewing ability. Melita is already a world leader in coffee, so that's how the coffee cup we enjoy and drink has developed so far. So we will meet again in another video like this.